Hey guys, just setting up a little bit. Today I'm doing the second in the set of the Reaper Miniatures Learn to Paint Kit #1, which is a little orc friend. Okay, I set it, there we go, that kind of works better. Still working on my camera settings apparently. So this is just a Tuesday stream. Normally I'm gonna plan to do Fridays, but I just felt like painting this one today, not waiting a whole other week. So I decided to stream it just in case anyone cared. I'm super tired today, if that's not obvious yet. I worked out really hard last night and now I'm exhausted. But it was worth it. So I'm going to be doing the Orc Marauder today. Looks like we'll get to use more of the green paint, which is cool. Echo. Buffering and echo. Okay, hold on, let's see. Maybe if I shut this out really quick. Anything better yet? Bad echo. Let's see. No, I just have the one mic enabled, but let me turn off the one that is on and fix that maybe. Any difference yet? Now, any difference? Better? Okay, cool. Thank you so much. And I tried to fix that autofocus issue I was having last time. So, hoping for the best this time, and I switched to my smaller work mat, which is black, instead of the lighter colored gray, so maybe that'll fix some of the issues with focusing on the minis, which is really important. But we're still having some... Okay, so they're still doing that. Let's see. It's slightly better. Okay, well I'm just going to start painting now that at least the audio is fixed. So I'm doing this Orc Marauder, and it's going to take more like green and silver and brown, it looks like, which I'm probably going to use some darker washes as well. So the skin is, we'll need Naga green, leather brown, harvest brown, leather brown, so for the base coat, yeah, I'll just start with the base coat then. And I'll do the other colors and everything else a little bit later when we get there. So again, I have my little paint mixer palette, which my friend John, who I think is still here, taught me how to make a wet palette, and I'm going to try and get all that stuff together probably for Friday, hopefully. That's my plan. And that'll be easier once I have that. Okay, so we'll need our brushes, and I'm still using, these came with the kit. They're the Reaper Pro Paint. I have a 2, which is more of a rectangular kind of brush, and it's more for, I mean, bigger areas of course for all of the painting, but it's also a kind of a dry brushing brush, which we'll do after this. And then the 0 is just a really small round, so this one's really good for small things and details. Looks like my bristles are already starting to kind of warp out a little bit, so I'm gonna have to do a better job at sealing those before I store them. Yeah, that's a little better. So step 1, okay, it doesn't have it like written out like the first one, so for the first one in the kit it kind of tells you step by step how to do it, but then this one it just gives you the colors and you kind of do it as you did the other one. So I'm going to start on the base coat, which is 1 part Naga green, do a little drop of that. I'll do 2, so 2 drops of the Naga green, which come in the kit, of course, and then 2 drops leather brown because you want them even. Evenly mixed, and that's just going to be for the skin, I'm assuming. Yeah, it says just for the skin. And then put some drops of water. 1, 2, 4. I'll try 4 and see if that's wetted down enough. For now, that's looking a little bit more brown than green, even though I did 2 drops of each. It's almost a little bit yellow, but I'm gonna go with it. A little bit more water. I'm gonna go ahead and stick him to my mini mount. I easily made, can be easily made at home using any kind of, I guess, cylindrical or basically handheld object like this, something easy like this, and you just put something sticky on top, really. I'm going to go and paint his skin. It's a little overexposed on the screen. I can change that. It's a little better. And just for me at least, when I do my first base coats, try to stay in the lines, but I don't super try to just be super exact. I kind of just put the paint on, avoiding areas where it's not supposed to be as much as possible, I would say. But for the base coats, since you're doing this in layers, a couple layers, you can kind of just put it on there. It might be better to switch to the smaller brush. I'm going to try this a little bit more. I really like the armor on this one. I'm excited to do the chainmail and use that silver more. We'll just paint it down here so it's a little bit more clear, I guess. Yeah, this color looks bright now. It just seemed a little bit yellow to begin with, but I'm kind of seeing how it's bright after I put it on. I'm going to try some focusing right now. Might be a little better. So I'm just going to do the skin for anyone who has just started. I'm doing the skin of the Orc Marauder miniature that came in the Reaper Miniatures starter set, like the first one, Learn to Paint starter set number 1. He's got hardly any skin showing, actually. It just seems to be the top, his head, and his arms and his shoulders. Figured there would be more, but didn't look at it closely. It's already demystified painting miniatures. Anyone can do it, I promise. I've only been doing it since April, I think. I think that's when I started. I mean, I'm still not that great. I'm not trying to say like, oh, I've come so far, but it's been not that long and I'm really loving it. really like this green color. It's kind of like pea soup. It's like the exact color I would call this. I wonder if Reaper has a paint called pea soup, because if they don't, that's how you make it. Naga green and leather brown, equal parts. I like paints with weird names and gross names. I ordered another kit, the second starter. It's still a starter kit, I guess. It's the Learn to Paint, but it's the one about layering and detailing, and has some cool colors in it. I can't remember if it's the one that has it, but they have a color called Carnage Red. I'm really excited about that one. And there's one called Entrails, or Entrail Pink. I'm excited about that one too. I'll get those eventually. Because you can do a lot with just, I mean, you have the basic colors and the primaries and some of their complementary colors. You can do a lot with that. They do sell at Reaper, it seems to be a lot more like colors that you don't have to mix first off if you don't like mixing them. I've spent 5 years of my life in art school, so I like colors and I like mixing colors and paints and stuff. But they do have a lot of colors that are pretty exact, especially with skin tones, which I know can be really hard. I've never been good at skin tones. Also, the more I'm doing these miniatures with the good quality paint finally, which is really nice, I am learning that layering up really is similar to watercolor, which I've made jokes before saying that since I do watercolor painting, I always wondered if it was going to translate to miniature painting, and it kind of does. I mean, I guess that's all painting. A lot of layering is done, but especially watercolor from what I've learned. I guess the more watered down the paint, or the more layers you have to do, I guess, to get the color you want, the more likely you are to have to do different layer after layer after layer, which has been really similar so far. Ghoul skin, that sounds really awesome. So it's similar to this green, pea soup green I should say. Pea green would be a completely different color probably. So I've done like, it looks about 3 layers on most of the skin. I'm not so great at being consistent to doing all of the skin once, then doing another layer on top and another layer on top. I kind of just keep adding layers as I go to the parts that I want, which probably I need to work on that, because that will probably make the paint more consistent. I kind of just go for the color that I think it's supposed to be as far as layers, and then work from there. One of my favorite things about painting miniatures is armor, though. I'm really looking forward to getting a little bit better at that. Yeah, with watercolor you do have that problem. I have that problem still, because especially with watercolor paper, as I'm sure you know by now, that the more water you put on it, the more it deteriorates in a way. I mean, if you have really good quality watercolor paper, you can do a lot more with it. And I've used some really heavy watercolor paper in school. It's not something I really like personally. I like about like a mid-grade watercolor paper, like that comes in the packs where you just slice them off. I prefer that, but yeah, if you want bold color, you have to do layers and layers, but if you thin it out too much with water, you can mess up your paper, and I've done that a lot. Gotten really far in a painting, and then start doing a layer or something of detail, and then the paper is just garbage after that, and that sucks. And something I noticed, oh, too many layers for the paper degrades. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Definitely. Because that paper, depending on what paper you have, it can just like rip, or not exactly rip, but it just beads up, I think is what they call it. Luckily that doesn't happen on miniatures. That would make it a lot harder. Hey, thanks, Grumpy Turtle. You're the best. I appreciate that. I'm noticing with this paint that it really dries fast on the palette, around like the edges or whatever, where you're not constantly putting water in the brush. So I'm gonna have to work a little faster, or just do less and less paint as I go, and then add more as I need it. Oh, okay. The buffering was on your end. It wouldn't surprise me if it's on my end, but I did clear out everything extra, so hopefully that fixed it. And I'm hoping, so I set my focus. Last time, if anyone was watching, I was really struggling with my focus on my camera because I had it on autofocus, and it just wouldn't connect with the miniature that I was trying to show. So I'm hoping this time I set the autofocus, I set the focus about right here. So hoping that I can easily show what's going on. So if anyone can let me know if it's a little bit more clear, if you can see the miniature when I have it about right here, which is where I'm trying to paint it, let me know if that's any better. And if not, I will put it lower or higher as I need to. Because that's really the whole point of this, is so you can see the miniatures. Yeah, I'm going to add a little bit more paint. I'll just do one of each. Equal parts Naga green and leather brown. That's a little bit more watered down. I'm going to add a little bit more green to that. Okay. Okay. As long as you can see it now here when I'm holding it about here and it's a little bit clear, that's what's important. Also, I ordered a new miniature and should be here later this week, and it's going to be just for me. I'm probably, if I can finish it before the month or the competition is over, I'd like to enter it as my first time entering in Michael Mordor's painting challenge. I forgot what it's called. I think it's like Ghoul Queen or something. One of Reaper's miniatures. I'm pretty excited to at least try it. And if I like it, then I might try and enter it, but if it's awful, then I won't. Oh, I was trying to say earlier, I think, I noticed when I took the photos of my skeleton miniature, which I painted last time, like I took macro photos of it so you can see all of the details, and you can really see everywhere you messed up that you can't super well see when you're just holding it. But when you take macro photos of your miniatures, it's like, wow, I definitely could have done that better. But I was excited because it was my first time trying to stream, so I was a little distracted. So this time I'm a little bit more low energy, but I'm a little bit more concentrated on the actual painting. So hopefully that's an okay balance. Okay, now I have his head left, his shouldery area. Skeletal Knight. I'll have to look that one up, but that sounds really cool. And you definitely should enter. Trying to make sure I didn't, there we go, I missed a little bit on the arm. He kind of reminds me of Hulk, with like Shrek's head. That would be really funny. Yeah. I mean, he kind of does look like Hulk with like an angry Shrek minus the ear things, whatever it is that he has. So oh yeah, of course the knight is gonna have like a cool skeletal horse. That sounds really neat. I need to look that up. The mailman just got here, and he was just delivered my new painting kit, so I'll get to work on that soon. It's really funny sitting in front of my window, because when the mail people come, they just stare at me. I do have like box lights, light boxes. Why did I say box light? I do have light boxes, but I just enjoy the window and I need more, I guess, sunlight in my life. So the lighting isn't perfect and I'm really sorry, but eventually I'll figure that out. But right now I just enjoy sitting in front of the window. It's going to be interesting painting his little tusky teeth, because they're very small. And that small brush is smaller, but it's not extremely small. More sun is always good. Oh yeah, please post a progress pic. That sounds really cool. That would be better than just me Googling it. I'm going back to the gym tonight too. Why am I doing this? I'm so tired. Don't forget the crevices. That's a huge rule. There are many. I think that might be good for the green. Yep. Clean my brush. Next, the fur. I'm assuming that's his boots, maybe? Okay. Thanks for coming. Have fun at work. No, the fur, okay, I see. The fur is attached to the chainmail. I was wondering if that was it or not. Because it said brown, but I guess desert sand isn't that brown. It's more khaki. Desert sand and mountain stone. It sounds like a poem. Or a spell. One to one. Again. I'll do, just in case, I'll do 2 drops of each. Yep, that's definitely more of a khaki. Then some drops of water to water them down. About 4 drops. Can always add more. So this is just the fur on the bottom of the chainmail, which I've actually never seen. I guess it's underneath it, and the chainmail's over it. I'm assuming. Maybe I should like add some music to my channel so it's not so quiet and boring. I did have Sirenscape for a bit, but then I deleted it because I didn't want it on my computer. But I might get it back. Have some like painting music going on. I just listen to classical. I don't know if that will be boring on here though. maybe more boring. Oh, copyright. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I listen to paint. I mean, I listen to paint. I listen to music while I paint. But with the copyright issues, like, I don't know what all I can put on my channel, so it's just quiet for everyone else, I guess. What do you mean? I'm trying to, they'll silence it, they'll silence my videos for copyright, but if I'm recording it, only if I'm recording it for later? What do you mean? I don't understand. Almost done with this fur. I think chainmail is next, just the black undercolor. Yeah, I want to get some medieval music. That sounds like a good idea. Something like that. Just in the background while I sit here and stare at my miniature. But I do need to figure out all the rules for that. Because I just don't know. I don't want my videos to get silenced. Okay, that's good for the fur. Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. So while it is live, the music will play, but then if you watch it later, it'll be silenced. I get it. And I don't want that because I do eventually I plan to move these to my YouTube channel, which has nothing on it right now. Cleaning my brush of the paint. For the chainmail, for the base coat, it's just black. Pure black. Oh wait, okay, have fun at work. Thanks for coming. Yeah, well with YouTube, that's what I mean though. If I want to find music that I can put on that won't cause any problems, which I think with Sirenscape, that's what they do, I'm not positive. I might re-download that and just get that. I don't need anything super special, but yeah, I couldn't use anything copyrighted, I'm assuming. Because then it would eventually get turned off. This black is still kind of clogged in the top. I poked it out a little bit with the pin. I'm going to use this when I get to the details in the front. I'll go ahead and use this for the back. Larger brush. These are so frustrating. They're headphones, obviously, so I need them. But I also like them, but they also don't stay on very well. So, if you're thinking about getting into these, a pair of these for yourself, just know they kind of hurt. Just letting you know. Free info. You like the quiet while I paint? I kind of do too. That's why I'm like, I want to add music because I don't want it to be like just awkward silence for anyone watching. But yeah, it does have that painting with friends feeling, which is kind of what I'm going for, actually. You find music distracting? Okay. What about just like well, Sirenscapes, it's just kind of like background weird sounds. Is that distracting too? You just prefer like complete silence? Because I can do either. It's all the same to me because I have my own thing going on in my ears. Also, while we're talking about miniatures, obviously, like last time, for anyone who was in that stream, I asked a lot of questions about what people do for primer and issues like that, and so I did order both a black and a white, and I'm going to try those out for my next miniatures, because these ones, it works well enough to just put them on there, because in the instruction manual, they do say that you can just start painting on them, that you can just like wash them down with a toothbrush and dish soap and then just start painting, which is what I did, but I just went ahead and ordered some primer. I'm gonna try some stuff out, see what I like better. I'll probably like the primer. I mean, I usually order miniatures that are pre-primed, but Reaper is, or at least the Bones miniatures are like this. Okay, I'm glad at least one person doesn't find the silence weird. That's awesome. I appreciate that. I like that too. Like when I watch videos, I don't mind if someone is making a craft or crafting or painting or whatever they're doing and it's silent. I don't mind that. I'm just kind of having one of those days too. I just want like, I don't mind the quiet. almost done with the back of the chainmail. It almost feels kind of like a wash the way you have to do it, since it's little recesses in the armor. And right now it's base coat technically, but I kind of watered it down a bit more to get all of the black paint into those little tiny divots. And I think I'll do the bottom with this brush, and then for the top I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. Now I'm switching to the smaller brush, the brush number 0, so I can get this top part, which is a lot smaller of an area to cover. A little messy, but I'll fix it later. Okay, I think I've done all of the chainmail so far. Yeah, it looks like all the chainmail, which for the base coat is just black. So there's that. Okay. Next is the leather, which is just harvest brown. That's easy. I'm gonna do 3 drops for now. Might be too much, I don't know. So the leather is basically everything else, minus the blade. Minus the blade and a few little armor details. I'll try this brush, the 3, or the 2, the 2. Add some water. I'll start on the shield. And it's going to be okay if the brown gets on any of the areas that are supposed to be silver, because you can easily just paint that over. Hi! Thanks for joining. Today's kind of quiet. I'm just sitting here painting, so feel free to talk in chat or ask me anything if you want. Thank you, by the way. I said earlier, he looks like a mixture of Hulk and Shrek. It is an Orc Marauder, by the way. Number 2 from the Reaper Miniatures Learn to Paint Kit, number 1. And I just got, I'm pretty sure that's what the mailman was bringing, since I can see them, the second Learn to Paint Kit. And I will be doing that one after this one. So probably next week. Thank you. I'm working my way there. I have come a long way from my first miniature, which I think I did in April or May, I don't remember. But at least I have a lot better paints right now. I'm very excited about that. Because the paints I had been using were not good. They're just basic hobby paints. Oops. It's kind of hard to avoid getting that brown on the skin when it's so close to the shield like that. So I guess I'm going to fix that with another coat of green on the arm at least. Of Orc green. I want to learn how to do wood grain in the texture of paint. I guess you do that with liner brushes afterwards, I'm assuming. Hi! Thanks for joining. Oh yeah, when I first started I was doing them by hand as well, and it's a lot harder because you have to, like, I mean, you're holding it, so I would keep messing up the base, or like I would keep getting the paint off the hand or something. So once I learned this, it's been a lot easier. Okay, shield looks brown. So all of his armor, it looks like, is brown. I guess it's leather, but it's structured, so that's pretty impressive. I'll do the belt thing back of the, I guess it's the strap of the chest plate. That is what it will be called. I'm going to try really hard not to get this brown into the black. Game Envy holders, are those similar to the Citadel holders? I have looked at those ones. I haven't heard of Game Envy ones. Oh yeah, cool. So I'm in Texas. The next convention I know about is ReaperCon. What do you mean, like you have your own conventions? Or are you talking about like meet up at a convention? Because that would be awesome. I would love to. And I love you too, by the way, you and Griffin. You guys are awesome. Wow, 32 years. That's awesome. A part for your hand? Like other than holding it? Oh, okay. You travel from different cons to cons. So yeah, we have ReaperCon It's probably pretty soon, so it's in August. It's Labor Day weekend. I can't think of anything else, but I'm sure there is. I'm so tired today. I know we have Comic-Con in Dallas. We have A-Con in Fort Worth. We did that this year. There's a lot of conventions in Dallas. Not so much tabletop or, you know, this kind of genre. But there's a lot of comic and anime conventions. Yeah, if you come to Texas, please let me know. That would be really, really fun. I would love that. Okay, yeah, show me on Twitter. Being old is actually really awesome. I'm very much looking forward to being old. I'm on the inside, I'm convinced I am 65. And no one can convince me otherwise. I'm either 65 or like 6. Depends on the day, depends on my mood. Usually both. Use corks to hold your miniatures. Actually, I never knew that people used corks to do it, but I was looking at this one holder and I can't remember exactly who made it. Actually, now that we're talking about the game Envy, that might be the one I was looking at. Does it have like a handle, like kind of a hooked handle that you can flip up and down? Because I was looking at something like that and I can't remember who makes it. It was a Kickstarter. And they had different types of bases. So if some people, you know, use lids, or they use the lids to like their Citadel paints, they have those domed lids, or they use corks, and I'd never heard of that. But they had all these different things. Oh, that's the one, okay. Sorry. I don't ever remember the names of things. I'm bad at that. There's a bunch of cons coming up in Texas. I should know this. Thank you. I need to go to them. I need to go to there. Oh, well, also, PAX South, is that what they call it? One of the PAX Penny Arcade conventions is in San Antonio, Texas. And that's in, I don't know exactly the exact dates for next year. This year it was in January. I didn't go to it, but it was in January this year, so I'm assuming it'll be in January next year too. But that's cool because that's San Antonio, and San Antonio is pretty nice. Used to go there all the time. See the Alamo. Google the con schedule. Yeah, thank you. I'll do that. Look at me depending on other people to tell me things. It's shameful. But ReaperCon, I still haven't gotten my classes, and I'm hoping there's still classes left. But that's going to be really great. And if you're going to DragonCon this year, that's actually the same weekend as ReaperCon. Just in case anyone didn't know. But ReaperCon's going to be pretty fun. I hope. Oh yeah, I actually have one of those desk magnifiers right here. I use it when it's just me painting. I like it a lot. It helps me see better. It even has a little light, which is cool. Helpful, very helpful. But it's just hard to use on stream because you can't see anything, it just blurs it out. So, I like that. I agree. Oh, my ears? So these are, yeah, they're earbuds, I'll show you. They kind of look like this, and they have like the piece that you kind of fold up, or at least that's how I wear them, I don't know. I got these on Amazon, and they have a bunch of different kinds. My ears are apparently unnaturally small, according to several people who have made the point to tell me that, but they fit like that. So they're a little big on me, so I have to like do it like that. But yeah, I got them on Amazon. And I was talking about them earlier on stream, they kind of hurt after a while. But they're still really cool, and I like them. And I'm wearing them now, which is probably a little bit silly, but I mainly wear them for when I do online games. Because I usually play elves of some kind. An elf of some kind. I actually have a game coming up, if anyone is interested. I'm playing in a space-themed RPG this Sunday. And I don't remember the exact channel, because I don't know what he calls his channel. I'll have to get that figured out, but I'll share it on Twitter and stuff. But it's a space-themed RPG called Stars Without Number. That's not what we're calling it. We're calling it something else. But I'm excited. I'm probably going to wear these anyway, even though I do have ears. I'm like a space elf, magician, sorcerer. They're called magisters in this game. But I'm playing an alien lady. Well, actually, I don't think I'm going to call her a lady. I think it's just going to be an alien, like, genderless being thing, because it's an alien. And they have, like, gray dolphin skin. That's how I described it. And they're super tall. And my main thing is that I go around the galaxy with a group of adventurers, and I like collect specimens because I'm like a scientist, scholar. But since I have spells, and I don't think anyone else in my party has spells, I'm not positive. They all have really cool weapons. But I kind of got tasked, well, I tasked myself to be the somewhat of a cleric of the group. I have one healing spell. So I'm basically a scientist that can also heal you. But it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I love D&D. It's my favorite and always probably will be, but sometimes it's fun to play things that are like totally out there. And I'm also working on another one, Triumvine. I'm still trying to get that locked down with who can play and when. And that one's a completely new, brand new RPG. And I won't describe it to you because, to be honest, it's really cool, but it's hard to describe for me. It's basically like there's 7 or 8 different species, I can't remember, but you can play different creatures, not just like, I think there's only one human, maybe one elf thing, and then there's all these different like animal type things you can play, which is really cool. I mean, I know in D&D you can play different things too, but this one's just a completely own story. It's not even related, as far as I know, to D&D. Yeah, I'm hoping to, at ReaperCon, I'm responding to that. I'm getting the ticket, I think it includes one, what do they call it? I don't know if they call it a swag bag or if I'm just remembering that wrong. But you get like a bunch of free stuff apparently. Cause you can just go for like 1 day or 2 days. You can get 1-day passes. But I think I'm gonna get the 4-day pass, and then I'm gonna take, I think you can take 8 classes. I might take 4, maybe 1 a day, I don't know. It'll depend. I have like low social energy, like the more time I spend around other people, it makes me super happy because I'm a secret extrovert on the inside. So I enjoy spending time with people, but I'm really an introvert, so like I just get drained, socially drained. So we'll see how I do at this convention, because I really do want to take classes and I really want to play games and I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, there's other races in the one I was talking about. Yeah, and you said you wanted to play Triumvine. I have you in the information that I have. Your name is on the list to play, yes. But in the space RPG, there are other races. You can do an android, you can be a human, an alien. I'm actually playing a human-alien hybrid, so I don't have the powers or the bonuses that aliens get. But it's cool. I think there's one more, and I can't remember what the other one is. Someone's playing a lizard gecko thing, and that's going to be so funny. James Wappel or Wapple. What class is he taking? Do you know? I mean, class is he teaching? Because I have the list. I need to choose them before they're all sold out. Some of them are really basic level, like color mixing and stuff, and those would definitely be beneficial. But since you can only have a certain amount, I think I'm going to take some higher level ones, just so I can learn when I get to higher levels. Okay, and I can look on the list too later when I'm looking at the classes. Okay, thank you. I should probably switch to my smaller brush now, so I'm going to try that. Oh, I lifted way too much last night. My arms are so sore. And I'm about to go back in a few hours. Wet palette, I'm gonna try and make one for Friday. My friend John was showing me how to make one on Sunday, and it's funny because the way that he does his is the exact setup. It's just like a Tupperware box with sponges in it, 2 sponges, and you wet the sponges, and then you put paper over it, parchment paper, I think he said. But the funny thing is, I already have all of those things because that's basically the exact setup that you use to rehydrate a dead insect so that you can pin it, pin the legs and wings and parts out, which is another one of my hobbies. I have an insect collection. So I'm going to be making a wet palette, maybe by Friday, I don't know yet, but hopefully. Whenever I get the chance. I have a pretty busy week this week. Parchment paper. Hey! I was just talking about you, John. Talking about wet palettes. Yes, we're just talking about wet palettes and how they're similar to how I pin insects and rehydrate them with the sponges. Almost done with this brown. I just have to finish his shoulder. Oh, what are they called? I can't remember the shoulder pieces and his boots. I can't remember that name. Pauldrons. Thank you. Okay, that will be awesome. Thank you. I've never used Citadel paints. I guess since I don't use an airbrush, it won't be any problem. Man, these small parts are really difficult to paint sometimes. A little bit messy around his face. Hopefully I can fix that. Vallejo. I haven't tried that either. I mean, that's what they recommend with the WizKids minis, and I paint a lot of those. But I've never tried Vallejo. I'm gonna do one more drop of Harvest Brown for this leather. Kind of drying out. Army painter. Yeah, I know you like army painter. Thank you. I think I'll like Citadel paints. I don't know why I wouldn't. I don't know. Oh, you like Vallejo? Maybe one day I'll try them all. Oh yeah, paints designed for minis are definitely the best. Because the paints I was using before I got these were just crap paints. They're just like a set of acrylics in tubs. And they work, but they come off really easily. But we all start somewhere, right? The main reason I started using those paints is because I got my first miniature at our local game store, and they don't have any paints as far as I could see. I should have asked, I guess. But I was just excited to start painting, so I was like, let's go find some paints. And so I went to a Hobby Lobby because it was the closest option. And I just got a paint set. Citadel are expensive, yeah. I'm really liking Reaper, to be honest. And maybe I'm a little bit biased because I, went to the factory and they showed me how they make all their paints. And they were like, we're the only company who makes our paints in-house. And I was like, that's really cool. So maybe I'm just biased a little bit. And plus I have this weird thing that once I buy a set of something, I like to keep with the same brand. So we'll see. But if I'm getting a free set of Citadels, I am very excited about that. Oh yeah, and the dice tray. I think I decided what I'm gonna make for you, because I make like leather bound journals. I think I'm gonna make one of those. Since I have my new sewing machine, I'm gonna try some new stuff out. So it'll be kind of a trial run for a new journal style that I'm doing, but I think that's what I'm gonna make for you. Since you're making me a really cool dice tray that I'm really excited to see. Lower pigment ratio. Oh, that's not great. Maybe that's because of the way they make it? I don't know. Huh, that's interesting. So who has the best pigments? Or pigment ratio, I guess. Pauldrons are done, now that I remember the word, or was told the word. Now just for the shin guards. I guess they're shin guards. I can't tell if they're boots or shin guards. I think they're both, because it looks like there's a little strap on the back. I think the boots are silver, and I think the shin guards are brown leather. I love Nordic runes. I've always been into runes. Like since I was like 7 or 8, I started writing all of my like journals and personal little 8-year-old person stuff with runes. And I'm gonna do one more drop, actually. Hello! Thanks for joining. Sabatons. A letter in all runes? Yeah, that would be cool. I can read it. As long as it's the standard set. Like the normal set of runes. That's what I used to write everything in. Oh, that sounds really cool. Hi! Thanks for joining. I like the owl. Okay. And I figured out what I think the problem was with my, so I watched my other stream and it had this like kind of just dull buzzing sound in the background, and at first I thought it was maybe the air conditioning, but I turned it off in here. So what I think it is my computer fan, and that's like, I don't know how I'm gonna fix that. So if it's like annoying, like a droning sound, let me know, but I don't know. It's kind of annoying to me. I can't hear it now though. Yeah, it's my computer fan. And I don't know, like, how am I gonna get that out of the stream? I don't know. It's raised on a thing so that the fan doesn't overheat the computer. I'm really loving this orc. It's crazy how much you like things better once you get them painted. And another. I don't just paint for D&D. I kind of just, for now, I guess so. That's why I put it in my description. I play other games. I just don't have any miniatures for those other RPGs. So technically right now I'm just painting tabletop miniatures. I just tagged D&D in it because that's what, I mean, it gave me the option to. But since I paint a lot of things that aren't for D&D because I really like Reaper, so I just paint Reaper miniatures right now, and then I'm gonna paint other ones too, but I wouldn't say everything I do is going to be just for D&D. It's just what I've always really done, since that's what I mainly play, and I like having miniatures for my games. I do have some Pathfinder miniatures too. But I'm going to be pretty much painting Reaper for a little bit until I get other ones. And then Reaper isn't just, like, obviously it's not just for D&D, so in a way, yes, in a way, no. Yeah, I know I do need to get into wargaming. If not only just for painting miniatures. I love all the wargaming miniatures online. Thanks for coming, Chris. I appreciate it. An elf army, that would be amazing. I would have so much fun painting something like that. I think I was talking about that last time, like how much it costs to get into painting for wargaming, for painting armies, and they're saying it's a lot of money, so I might just stick to these for a little while longer. Get me a sponsorship to one of these companies, and then I'll paint hundreds of miniatures. Thanks for coming. Have a good day. Now all that's left, I think, is the silver. Oh wait, the handle of his, they call it a sword. I don't really think that's a sword. Yeah, a few $100 shopping spree at Reaper. You could actually get a lot of stuff for not too much money at Reaper. which is awesome. Squads or war bands. Okay. Why is that cheaper? Oh, I guess squad is obviously smaller than an army. Duh. All three of those games sound really cool. I'm gonna look into those. I don't know anyone here who plays that though, so I might just end up painting minis and not having any games. Is that something you can play online? More role plays. That sounds really fun though. Yeah, I'm still on the base coat step. Almost done though. All I have left is the silver. I'm probably a really slow painter compared to most. I haven't seen the skeleton pictures you sent me yet, but I will look at those when I get done with this. I don't have any other internet open, just in case. But thank you. I do want to see it. I love seeing those. I love when people paint this kit. That's why I was super excited to paint it. Okay, I'm doing silver now. That is enough leather. Blade steel. Oh yeah, I don't know if I want to watch Talks Machina tonight either. Ugh. Oh wow, okay, so Matt, Ashley Birch, and Tal are gonna be on tonight. That's... oh man. I don't know why I get so emotionally invested. I love using metallic paints. Cabbage Lord. He is really funny. Oh yeah, the Sierra menus are gonna be cool. I'd probably be more of a Yasha if I did a cosplay, honestly. Thanks for coming. Oh, hello! Thank you for coming. Do you like miniature painting? I'm gonna say Ja Maxu, if I pronounced that correctly. Let me see. I will put it up to the camera. Maybe. Oh. Okay, I think I'm basically done with this first base coat. I don't think I missed anything. Yeah, okay. Done with the base. So for the first wash, which is our next step, wait, let me look really quick, hold on. Thank you. I wish I was a real life elf. That's been my goal since I was a kid. Yes, wash is step 2. Okay, I'm going to do that now. So the skin is, I'll put these paints back. I need Naga green. I need pure black. So it's going to be these two, for anyone who cares. 2 drops Naga green plus 1 drop pure black mixed with 8 parts water. Two drops of green, 1 drop of black, with a bunch of water. Wash with this one again. I think I'm gonna use, yeah, number 2. Oh my goodness, my back. Okay, I'm gonna start that wash right now. And this is just for the skin. Each element is gonna have its own wash. This is a nice color. I don't know if it's, I don't think it's showing up, but it's kind of like a greenish, a really dark forest green, I'd say. I love forest green. That's the color I'm wearing, even though it doesn't really show. One of my favorite colors, probably because I'm a wood elf. That's what I always picture my wood elf characters wearing. Put some water in. 8 parts water. 4, 5, 7, 8. Oh no. Oh, I should really change out my water, because now that I did the silver, the metallic in it, I hope everything isn't glittery. Oh, I should totally change out my water. Oh well, there we go. Yeah, forest green hair. I think that's a great idea. not watery enough. Get the wash in all of those little recesses of the skin. It's kind of hard for me to like do this and see. So I'm going to try and hold it as close as possible, but also need to see. I kind of just like tap it on. That looks really cool. This one is a lot easier to do with the wash, at least, than the skeleton one. That one was kind of hard because it's so small. It did have a lot of recesses for the wash to find, and it looked really nice on the skeleton, but it was a lot harder to do on such a small miniature. But that was good practice, I guess. A little bit more, I think that'll be good since this is not a lot of skin. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I like that. Get all that green out of my brush. So it says for the skin it was that green wash, but for all other areas 1 drop of pure black to 4 drops of water. So that's pretty simple. I don't feel like I need a wash on the chainmail right now, because that's basically what I did to begin with, was just a wash of black that kind of went in the little recesses. But maybe after the dry brushing I'll need one. I'll use this brush. I'm going to do the fur first. That just gives it way more depth. forgot to do the green on the base. Kind of see the little washy areas. It just darkens it up a bit, makes it look a little bit more realistic. Get some depth to them, especially the clothing and armor. Okay, done with the first blush. I hope it's the first. Yeah, it's the first and only. That's my little Orc Marauder. Next we're going to do the dry brushing. Okay, yeah, it is best to have 2 water cups. That's a great idea, especially with this silver that gets everywhere. So this miniature is just kind of, it's part of a learn to paint kit, so it's just going to be one of my collection. It's not going to be specifically for anything. Oh, and thanks for hosting me. Okay. Dry brush, layer 1. It's a little drier. Almost dry. Okay, I think that's good. So the first it's saying to do is the chainmail, and we'll use blade steel. So with dry brushing, you want to make sure all of the other paint is out of your brush, and then dry it with a paper towel. Make sure you can get it as dry as you can. I don't want to ruin the bristles, but just make sure it's dry. And then get your paint and wipe it off a little bit until there's like basically no paint on it. And then we'll try it up here. And then you just like slightly hit it. Only those top pieces of it. So you're just catching the edges. Works really well with chainmail because it's actually pretty simple to paint because it's so recessed with the little divots into the chainmail. You just do a simple base layer of something darker, and then dry brush over the upper elements of it. And you have chainmail. Kind of see that. That's just layer 1, I think. Yeah, that's layer 1. So I'm done with that. For the leather, we'll do a first layer of Harvest Brown. Okay, that's what color it is. So I'm only doing a little bit of that, just like a single drop of it probably. Well, I might need more, we'll see. So it's dry brushing. And over all the leather, just gonna gently brush it on a little bit. It's not really showing up. I think it works more when you have more elements to the depth, like more depth to it, because then the wash would have gotten a little bit more darker. So on the shield it doesn't really seem to do much, but you can kind of see it more on the other bits. I think it's going to show up more when I do the second layer. I need to fix that. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's going to really do much with that, so I think I'm going to be good with that one. Then the next layer is 1 drop of Harvest Brown with 1 drop of Leather Brown. So that'll be a little bit lighter. And I'll add that to it. Well, I'll put more. I like Leather Brown a lot. And again, make it to where your brush has barely any paint left on it. Just lightly dust over those upper pieces. I'm gonna have to go in and redo those silver elements anyway, so I guess it's okay that I'm just kind of dry brushing over them. I guess it would have been cool to save that for last if they had said so. Would have been a good idea. Weird sounds. I don't know what that is. Okay. All right. Is what we have so far. You can kind of see a little bit of a difference. It's not huge, but it's looking better. Oh my goodness, it's 4:30. I have 30 minutes to finish this, and I think I can. Okay, and then for the fur, it's going to be It says use the same as the base coat, so I'm gonna try just the desert sand. It might be a vacuum, I don't know what it is. It sounds like a vacuum, but it sounded like a chair being dragged across the floor, but for like a really long time. So I don't know what it was. Okay. For the skin, 1 part Naga green, 1 part leather brown, harvest brown, leather brown, and 1 part candlelight yellow, which is, I love this color. 1 to 1 to 1, so I'll do 1 drop of each. Yeah, I should have shaken that. Okay. It might be a leaf blower, actually. Let's see for the skin. Yeah, this is dry brushing right now, and it's just straight paint, no water. I don't know, I'll probably make this channel more I don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't know yet. That would be cool though. I just don't know how to do it, so I guess you could show me. I'm sure you can show me. There we go. So that's with the first dry brush layer. No, wait, this is the second dry brush layer. You can see that kind of muscles kind of pop more with the wash that goes into the recesses of the muscles, and then you have the highlight with that dry brushing on top. It looks pretty nice. Okay, and for the fur, I think I'm gonna do, so it doesn't say this, but I'm gonna try a little bit of the white in with the fur, because I already did the desert sand and it doesn't really look much different. Oh no, I need to show that more. Okay. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, that's just a little bit lighter. I like that better than just the desert sand, so it's kind of an equal mix. And I'm going to do that over the fur. Okay. That looks way better. Yeah, that looks more like fur. Cool. Clean the paint. Next is the chainmail, and we'll do the polished silver. I've been wanting to use this one. Where are you? Ooh. Okay, this one's going to be shaken quite a bit because it got a little bit separated. But it's such a pretty color of silver. Very light. Well, it's not too bad. It just looks like a little much. and then polished silver as well on the sword and metal spikes. Okay. So I didn't do the base. I am thinking I'm going to end up covering that with either flock, or I might cut it off as someone suggested last time. So I might just end up painting it like dark green and not really worrying about the details in it. Okay, so all that's left now is just the little teeth, which I know is going to be hard. So there's my, like, minus the teeth, little orc marauder. Kind of messy, but I kind of like it. I don't know. I'm going to try the teeth. So for the teeth, it's just saying thin out the dragon white with water. So here we're going to try this. It's very small. Wish me luck. More water than that. Not thin like a wash, but still kind of thin. Okay. This is going to be hard to see. That looks really weird. That's better. And then I think I'm going to use a little bit more of the wash for the skin and just kind of darken his eyes a bit more. They're very tiny. And I'll do one more very slight layer on the teeth. Okay, I think that will work. So there is our Orc Marauder, minus the base that I haven't made yet, because I'm going to put him on a base and put some of the like flock and fake grass. I think I want to do that. And maybe I'll do another video once I get more information on how to do that correctly. An option for the teeth is to dab a thicker paint on with a toothpick. That's a good idea, actually. I might do that later when I have a toothpick, but it's in my kitchen. That's a good idea. But yeah, I kind of like him. Does anyone have any other questions or things you want to talk about before I go? Oh yeah, I have that flock. I think I'm going to try it, but afterwards, what we were talking about the other night with how you make it, I do want to try and do that eventually. Okay, so this is our Orc Marauder. This is the second miniature in the Reaper Miniatures Learn to Paint Starter Kit #1. So thank you for watching. I will try to be back Friday and we'll do the third and final, which is, let me look up his name. His name is Mongu Timur or something like that. So that's what I'll be doing next time. Probably Friday, if not then next Tuesday probably. It looks pretty cool and I'm excited to try this armor. And then after that I'm going to do the next paint kit. There's the second Learn to Paint kit. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'm gonna go. Okay, bye.